Yo, what is up? I am hiding behind the camera so that I don't have to brush my hair and like get all fancy and maybe put a tooth in or anything like that. Um, so I am just gonna give you first a an overview of what I use to edit and my little initial thoughts on the creative deck and the dial from Ulanzi. Um, and then I will give you a just a little, hopefully not 3 hour long demonstration of my workflow and how I edit videos. I mean, it works differently depending on what type of video I'm editing. So the one that we're editing is the one that we just shot, which was the Ulanzi unboxing and Keys seeing herself on the TV and then wondering where she went after she jumped down off of out of frame. So anyway, there is like 2.5 hours worth of footage. So this might, and there's 4 camera angles. So this might take us a few days, but I thought, I'll try to film just a little bit at a time of, as we go along, what I think is the important stuff and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, hoot and kitten kaboot. How do you do? Well, let me give you a rundown of my setup first. That we are recording this with the Pocket 3. So what you're looking at right here is this is my MacBook Air, if you can't tell what that is. And that's pretty self-explanatory. That's my computer. This right here is very important. That's gotta have our pickle chips. And also, oh, well, I guess since we're already down here, this is the speed editor, and this is, kind of centrifuge or whatever you want to call it, for my thoughts on the dial and the creative deck by Ulanzi over here, because they are definitely not a speed editor killer or replacement, however you want to look at it. I don't know why I was kind of thinking that they might be, and that I could use those. I can't. I already did the 420 video trying to use just those, and I cannot be anywhere near as proficient with just those and not the speed editor. However, the speed editor does have is missing some functions that this can't really replace, and the creative deck technically could replace or fill most of the functions that the speed editor does, but you'd have to cycle through pages and blah 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 to get to them, and it doesn't you can't be as proficient as you're going to be on the speed editor here once you learn to use the speed editor. That being said, like over here on the dial, it does help to have over on this side. Don't worry, I got it all turned off. Well, DaVinci's not open anyway, but I programmed these buttons to be on this side is copy and paste. I marked these ones as in. Oh, I am sorry. I am bumping the microphone. I marked these ones as in, out, in the middle as cut. But the speed editor does already have in and out. So I'm going to figure those for something else. The speed editor does actually have the undo function, but it does not have the redo. So I just went ahead and did undo, redo here. It helps to have, undo and redo right there at each other. And like I said, it's not hard to undo on the speed editor. It's literally just, whoa, let me pan down a little bit. There you go. It's literally just pressing the escape key twice. It's just, there's your undo. But I might as well have it. I might as well have it over here too, with the redo. Yeah, and then this is the part that is kind of weird because the in and out, like the what do you call it, the push pot underneath of the shuttle wheel acts as like a space bar. So that is actually good, and there is no push pot underneath the shuttle wheel on the speed editor. However, they are very different. I like how loose I can be with the torque on the speed editor, because I can really just kind of scroll through the project to get where I need to be. Unfortunately, sometimes you get to the frame that you want to get to, and it's loose, so it kind of might go a few frames further than what you really mean to be. And I see you, buddy. Whereas the dial over here is super, super tight, so it's really easy to go frame by frame without like accidentally going too far. But then on the flip side of that, when you want to just like scroll and scroll and scroll through the project, it's a little bit too tight, and you have to do this motion right here, and it's going to go slower than this easy motion right here. You see what I'm saying? So they both kind of have their advantages, disadvantages, but this is going to end up being a addition to rather than a replacement. So, because there's no way for me, I can, like I said, that I could be as proficient with the creative deck and the dial as I can be with the speed editor. There's just no way. So for the, I haven't programmed everything the way that I want on the creative deck. I did do a couple things that I'm going to do, or at least, yeah, I did do one thing, I guess, on the creative deck that I thought I needed, which I didn't because, I'm using the speed editor anyway, which is the split function. However, I did, the ripple cut is good to have because that's another thing with the speed editor is there's no cut or ripple cut on the speed editor. There is only ripple delete. And so, unfortunately, the speed editor is also not really customizable because if it was, I would turn the ripple delete into ripple cut. And the reason for that is, I always prefer to use cut over delete because, and which is why I'm also leaving cut right here on the dial, because I use that for making my outtakes reel like all the time. Because basically I'll just scroll into a project, get the clip that I think is funny or I'm goofing off, whatever, in, scroll, get to the out point, out, and then instead of, if you delete it, that's destructive. And, the clip is basically gone unless you undo. You can still undo it, but what I do is instead I use the cut function and then scroll to the very end of the project where I would be putting the outtakes. And then after you cut, you press paste and then boom, you drop your outtake right there. And I do that with all of my outtakes. And that's basically just how I build the outtakes reel. So today we are actually not, for this demonstration anyway, we are not going to be using this for the DaVinci instead. And that's another advantage I have in this right here, because we're going to use it to start and stop basically the record function and hope that that works to screen record over here DaVinci as we're editing, because obviously we're going to want that. And I don't have the ATEM or anything in here, and I really, really don't feel like unhooking it for all that. So, yeah. Anyway, let's stop. If you could see my television set with all of the trees in the background, I do use my television as my clean output because I am running DaVinci Studio. So I do have the clean output option, and I use that. That was the number one reason that I bought DaVinci Studio, was so that I could, so that I could have a clean output to look at as I edit. And lastly, we have over here on a completely separate table my speed editor. We also have over here to the side, is that, I can't tell if that's on, yeah, there it is. I have a USB microphone that we might use from time to time if we need to record some type of commentary or whatever. It's there if we need it. I don't plug it in or hook it up unless we need it. And the thing that sucks is, then I have to completely change my sound configuration to use it. But it works. So, and that is my micro color panel. If I forgot to mention that. So I don't really do a whole lot of like heavy color grading, but as you'll see as we get into the demonstration, I do kind of tweak the what is this? The lift I usually will bring down a little bit. Same with the gamma, and then tweak the offset a little bit. Um, yeah, we get it going. We get this party started. So let me get everything set up to start the project, and I'll be right back. Cut. First thing we want to do is, if you can't figure this out or whatever, is we open DaVinci. We're gonna have to open Resolve, and so now we're gonna have to create a new project. That's what are we gonna call this? Oh yeah, Ulanzi. 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 So you could see, we got a fresh project right here. This joint is fresh. So, okay, we're going to have to find our thing. What did we call this? Puffcoat mods? We already did that one. You shut up. Ulanzi gear. There we go. And so we're just going to copy all of these, and remember to do this on the edit page. And the reason for that is because if we just drop them all in the media pool in the edit page or the cut page doesn't have this side option like the edit page does. So this is where we want to drop them, in the side page right here. And then that way we retain all of our folders. I guess it really doesn't matter so much for this project because each folder, except for the JH5, has like 2 videos. So, all right, the first thing we need to do is to get everything on the timeline and then sync it. And we're also going to need to add a title that will go across this one. So there's 2 ways of doing this. One would be on the edit page, is just to drop every clip down in here. What we're going to do is, I think we're going to try to use the Multicam sync. Even though we're probably going to still do it the old-fashioned way, kind of. As we edit. But just to kind of get everything in sync, this will make things a little bit easier. All right. Where's the thing? Okay, we want this. Sync clips. And now I am... Please don't fetishize my feet right here. Please don't fetishize my feet. Or do. I don't really care. You can if you want. We want to sync by waveform because these don't have time codes or anything on them. But I did use... funny story. I have the slate, the clapper, that we've been using for my YouTube channel for years, literally sitting right behind me with stuff, and I'm still syncing by just clapping my hands. It's easy, but so we should have a good sync coming is basically what I'm saying. So it'll take this a minute. It'll take this just a minute. And, again, but this is between 2 hours to 2.5 hours somewhere of video right here. So look how fast it's analyzing the content. And this is all 3 of the 4 videos were in, cameras were in 4K, and the fourth camera was in 6K. And in case you're wondering, Keys Cam is probably the shittiest of these four cameras, and that is a Sony Axe53 camcorder, since that's the one going on the floor. The front-facing camera, the one facing me, the talking head, or whatever you want to call it, we're on a road to nowhere, is the Lumix S5 2X. The one on the table facing, the front of the table is the Lumix GH5. And then the overhead shot is the Lumix GX85, something like that. Yeah. So as you can see, our sync is complete, and I don't know why it does this instead of like putting these two, like they're the exact same fucking thing, but it puts them on separate tracks. I don't know why they do that. That is so dumb. That is so dumb. But okay, let's save the sync, and now we can go to the sync bin. Let's go to the sync bin, and we're just gonna lay everything down. Um, let's see. You know what? To make this easier, we're just going to go ahead and scroll straight through to where we actually like start the video. So now you can see why, as far as like actually scrolling the project, I like the speed editor so much better, because if I was gonna scroll the project like this, see on the dial, oh, it's not even gonna scroll the sync bin, is it? See? Oh, it might help if I turn the dial on. Okay, now let's try that again. I am making a fool of myself up here. You know, see how that is when you try to scroll that motion. So now we do it this way, but it's still kind of, janky as far as like actually scrolling through the project. Now see how different that is? Oh, and I am sorry. I almost completely forgot. We need to go up here to playback and preferred proxies. I did skip that part, and I did already make proxies for this project because that took a while. That was like an overnight job, especially because I was making proxies for both this and the Puffco video. So, yeah. Now, see, look how that scrolls compared to the dial. Here's, with that motion, or with, trying to scroll the way that I do with. It's not the same. It's not the same. I do like that, though. I do like being able to press it in and act as the space bar. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We're going to start on the bottom. The bottom layer, we definitely want to be the overhead shot for camera 2. So basically from here, we're just going to place on top. And, let's undo, or no, actually, we do. And I forgot to, that backfired. Oh, wait, I completely forgot. Haha, I have a redo button now, you son of a bitch. I completely forgot I have a redo button, you son of a bitch. That's, should have also mentioned that this is also the advantage of doing syncing this method, because using the other method, you have to import the audio from every single angle onto the project, and you will, then you'll have to go and delete that audio, or just mute it if you're a bad housekeeper or whatever, so syncing it this way helps a lot because you can just skip straight to wherever you want to start from, and uh, you know, yeah, you don't have to worry about importing the audio for every single track. All right, so now we're gonna start our bass from here because I'm gonna, you know, I'm either gonna render this separately as something, or I'm gonna put it in like the outtakes reel or something. I don't know yet, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, so the next camera I want to put down is the GH5. So that would be on cam 5, ironically enough. So why is this, that should be the whole damn project. Okay, video only, place on top. Now we're going to go back. And now we want to put the S52X, so that will be camera 4. Do the same thing. Drag the bottom part out so we get all the way in, baby. All the way in. Now we want to go back. And now we're going to get out of the sync bin because uh, we want to put a title right here. God damn, I am fat. I am fucking fat. I am going to put something else here because I'm just like laying back and my belly is sticking all out. Ugh. Yikes. Okay. I think this is the one I used for the last one. I'm going to use this one this time. And we'll just place it right here. And before I fill that out and set it up, this is a process. We're going to go back to the sync bin. And now we want camera 1, the keys cam. And the reason that we want to put this on the very top layer is just because, oh fuck. Well, I'll get it. I'll take care of it here in a sec. Anyway, the reason that we want that as the top layer is because we're going to put that down in the very corner, and so we want it to be over top of whichever other clip we've got as the main, and then keep the keys cam for the whole thing. So I forgot something very important. The S52X contained the volume that we're supposed to use for this video. So, or the audio, excuse me, whatever you want to call it. So, but that's an easy enough fix. I don't have to undo and undo and undo and then add the audio and do stuff over. Any of that. Just click audio only on the speed editor right here and place on top. Place on top. Now I am, however, going to have to go to the edit page and sort out the audio. And it also left a whole bunch of blank, empty tracks. But that's all right. We can take care of that. And then we're just going to take these extras right here. And, well, you know what? Delete that track. Delete that track. I was going to highlight them and do them together, but this works just the same. And now we're going to make these mono. Change track type to mono. Change track type to mononucleosis. And, well, we might need to raise the volume. We'll see about that when we get to the thing. But first, we're going to stretch out our title. Go ahead, take care of that. Oh, that's another thing that the Creative Deck does offer that the speed editor, does not offer is there is a knob down here that I can use to basically do this and squeeze and let whatever you want to call it the timeline, uh, expand, shrink, whatever whatever you want to call it, baby, whatever you want to call it. All right, so now we got everything. That's there. The thing I don't. It's weird that I don't trust about the insurance company. So all right, we're gonna go through and disable, disable. Usually we start the color grade from the S52X. So let's do that here again. All right, so we're gonna take this party over to the color page. And actually, hold on, I lied. First, we are gonna just adjust the image because it's in what do you call it, open gate. So, and we're gonna have to zoom in a little bit more because like the shot is a little bit crooked. So that's pretty good, I think, right there. And see how far we could drag this down. It's that little corner right there. Okay, so we're just going to leave it there for now. See how far over. I like to get my little guy in the shot right there, but then like that leaves me nowhere near the middle. Not that I'm going to, use this clip, this part of the clip for, this part, whatever I end up doing with it, but, whatever. I don't really know that we need to bring the lift down so much on this one. That tone is almost perfect. Let's get a little bit right there. And this is actually, I lied, it's not the offset. This is the gain. So let's press that to get to the offset. And there we go. I like to go a little bit dark. Just kind of makes it feel like, a little more cinematic. That is obviously way too dark, but, there is fun stuff that you can do like this. So let me just preview that a little bit. That is probably a little bit too dark. Let me try bringing up the gamma. Maybe not. That's because this is not the gamma anymore. This is the 10th. I am over here like, what am I even doing with my life? What am I even doing with my life, yo? All right, let's bring that up just slightly. Let's get out of that. Now, let's bring up the gamma slightly. Yeah, I think right about there. Now, hopefully, we can just copy the color grade. Sometimes that works between cameras and sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to find out. All right, so we need to, and that's the, I guess the GH5 we're not going to find out until later because, yikes. What we want to do here is paste attributes. And we're going to undo the zoom. We don't want to copy any of these things. However, we do want to copy the color grade. So we do that. That is extremely also useful for like copying things to multiple channels who at the same time. Paste attributes. Basically, we're going to just do the same thing. And let's see if that helps at all right here. Because this is a Sony camera. So, the color space is just a little bit different. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's fine. I do think that's fine. All right. So, let's, before we figure this out, let's go ahead and bring the keys cam down here. We're going to move it over to the corner. Oh, I am sorry. I forgot to, move the camera back. I'm doing that now. Got the keys cam down in the corner. Down in the corner. Up here on your mom. Or something like that. So, okay, now, what should we write? Oh, yeah, we're going to say it's a keys cam. Keys cam. She just looked over at me like, oh, for real? Keys cam, motherfucker. Me. Keys cam, motherfucker. All right, so I am sorry for being so dumb. All right, we're going to bring this back down. Bring it around. I look dead. I look fat and dead in that picture right there. I was really, really high. I'm really, really high right now, in case you were wondering about that. So, try to get that a little bit centered. Let's maybe not that way. Let's see that way. That's a little bit too far. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring it up here like so, but then shrink it back a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good right there. And all right, so for this opening, for this part thing, whatever here, oh, we don't want to delete that, but we do want to come down here. Let me drop the audio just to make it easier. We're going to disable that. And, oh yeah, that definitely needs some more color work because that is too much lift. I'm going to say right about there. Let's bring down the gamma a little bit. And I think we're good. I think we're going to be good right there. All right. Get back over here. Where's the GH5? All right. This is the GH5. We definitely don't need that. You know what? We might just leave the keys cam for this part of the video. This is easy enough to do. All I got to do is that, and then I could just, I'm going to add another video track up here with nothing on it, just so I have a place to click, because if I have a clip or something highlighted, and then like in, out, and then cut, I will accidentally cut the thing that's highlighted instead of the in, out points. So, all right. That's the thing I don't, it's weird that I don't trust them. Okay, I am gonna come back down here and we are gonna boost this flag when the insurance company that is too much offering me new perks. And all right, so we got some silence right here, and this is super this is a super easy thing to do, and we're gonna actually eliminate that too. See right here? All right, we're gonna say in, and because we don't need that. Don't nobody need that shit, or the silence. I feel like, and then we just in, out, ripple delete. Me new perks. I feel like there's something like you're taking away from me. But where's your other hand? Boom. We could just leave it right there. I don't know yet, so I'm going to in and see if there's an out.
Where's your other fucking hand, man?
Now, see, this is what I'm talking about, being able to get more precise right here. All right, in, out.
I'm saying, am I the only one who sees or thinks that way?
The same here. In,
You know,
out.
that way, like you're offering me all these things with one hand.
All right, I think we're probably going to
Man,
do that like right there. So what we're going to do, all right, we're going to come back here and we're going to clear that out. We're going to split that whole thing right there. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because I'm going to export this as like a whole separate thing. And so what I want to do here is I want to highlight all of the Acts 53 together. And then I'm going to transform, since, you know, this is going to be a whole separate thing anyway. We're just going to reset it all because we need to focus on something. But we're going to have to like straighten the shot out a little bit if this is going to just, completely fill the whole screen. And we want to add some motion to it too. I don't know how we're going to do that though. With a key, I got an idea. All right, we're going to keyframe this backwards kind of from here. And we're going to say, go here so that we'll be like actually panning out. You see what I mean? And now,
that's the thing I don't.
Keyframes are fucking fun.
I don't trust about the insurance company because, like,
This is, completely unnecessary on my part, but I'm doing shit. Um, Damn, how far over does it go? All right. To there. Let's zoom in on something. Let's go to her barn. We're going to go hang out at Key's barn. Now, this is going to probably be a little bit jarring.
am I the only?
Because now we're back. But you want to see something a little fun? You want to see something a little bit of fun? Where is the crash zoom? Now, let's check that out now.
I'm saying, am I the only one who sees?
We could probably drag that out a little bit more, maybe.
I'm I'm saying, am I the only one who sees or thinks that way? Like you're offering me all these things with.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a break and I am going to export this and like actually upload this, I think. Yeah, so then we'll come back here a little bit later and pick back up on the actual edit. Just because, I want to plug this onto YouTube and Facebook and whatever. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are I took care of all of that and now just to be safe, I'm just clicking on some empty space. So I fast forwarded or scrolled, whatever, to a point here, and we are about to trim off, what is that? About, oh, goddamn, about 6-7 minutes worth of stuff. So easy peasy cut. And right now, I'm going to get to show you what I was talking about in moving stuff to the Outtakes reel, because here we go.
All right, now we can do this like Brutus, the barber beef.
Okay, I'm not going to include all of that. So let me resize how this clip.
All right, now we can
Maybe just
this,
after
like
son of a
Brutus,
bitch.
the barber beefcake. You son of a bitch. And
See, that is what I'm talking about. I could not be that precise on the frames with the speed editor shuttle wheel. So the dial does go in pretty good junction or whatever with the speed editor, because now I've got one for, scrolling through the timeline and then another for those, precise movements. So that's good. That is good. So what we're going to do here to add this to the outtakes reel, we're just going to create all we need is an out point, because the end point is just going to be the very beginning of the track. So unfortunately my ripple cut would be on the creative deck right here. So we're just going to have to use a regular cut. And before we fix it, that gap, I'm just going to all the way. Okay, that's the very end. So now we're just going to paste. See? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And now we got to...
all right, now we can do this like Brutus, the barber beefcake. You son of a bitch.
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. How do you doom? So, this is having to... This is definitely, I guess twice as much work, which is still not much, but every little second counts in editing, because you got a whole bunch of things, like a million things that only take a second to do, but you put them all together, it's a million seconds, right? Anyway, so, but if you don't use the ripple cut and you just use the regular cut, you can still ripple it just by creating the, well, let me clear that out and show you again. So the in, the out, and ripple delete. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, whatever they say, something about that.
And Lloyd.
And now we can just skip past all of this. Y'all don't need to hear about the jail psychologist, that son of a bitch. Y'all don't need to hear about all that.
Okay,
Or at least I doubt that you really want to. And here we're just out, ripple delete.
This is not a sponsored
And that's
video,
where we'll start.
I am pretty sure you are going to agree with here in a minute. But I am going to be extremely honest.
Okay, so now that I'm sure that's our start point, one more thing, because this is going to be a long video, so we definitely want to use chapter markers. So we'll just call this intro.
This is not a sponsored video, which I am pretty sure percent code already. So, like, anyway, so so, like, anyway, so I never could
Get that breath out of there. We don't need that breath.
percent code already. Anyway, so I never. But yeah. Hog juice and everything, and so it was like I think not.
Oh man, my hand.
Hog juice and everything.
We're gonna just undo that because I don't like the way that.
But yeah.
All right, now let's try it.
Yeah, and so it was like I think 90.
Yeah, I like to, when I make these cuts like this, I like to make it look as natural as possible. Sometimes that's just not possible. Sometimes I try and I fail, but
Was it
I try.
the fog
I
juice and
do try.
everything? But yeah, and so it was like I think $90 or something. And then I got the flashlight for
And there's a clap.
uh, 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 uh,
If I could sync that, I doubt it. I doubt it. I probably ain't even picking it up on this microphone.
uh,
But this is very important. Always edit out the coughs when possible.
and the camera strap is the only LC boot it. And the camera strap is the only thing that I have already open.
What I'm going to do here is, even though I am not at the point that I'm going to cut yet, or cut to, or there's more to cut, however you want to look at that, I am going to go ahead and cut everything between here and my end point. So we're cutting off about 2 minutes and 24 seconds here. And the reason that we're doing that, because we need to separate the clips anyway, but now we want to switch to the S52X. So all we're going to do here is undisable it and come up here. Oh, actually, no, we're going to leave that highlighted because we're going to need to like readjust it a little bit, I'm pretty sure. But first we want to find our out point. Oh, but I guess we're going to need this for shit. In. Now, wait.
How do you do? How do you do? Who are you?
We'll pull that for the outtakes. Out right there. Cut. All right, now let's get this. Let's get us positioned a little bit better. We want to fix our pet symmetry. Oh, but we gotta. I guess we'll have to zoom in a little bit more to get us over. Where's the corner? There it is. Bring that. Okay. Now we can raise us up a little bit. I kind of hate that, like I want to get all my dolls and my toys in the shot, and it's hard to do that sometimes. Just to make sure we're on the spot. In.
How do you do? How do you do? Who are you? Do I know you?
I don't think so.
Have some pineapple juice.
I am really bad at setting up my pet symmetry. I need a rule of thirds grid,
On the basis of
on my thing.
Juice. Like, what the fuck kind of monster orders pineapple juice?
And remember, we're going to use cut instead of delete. Sorry, get us up to the very end and paste. And now we'll get us back, out, in, just because that's the direction we were going. Ripple delete, and boom.
I am.
So there's a little bit of a color difference. You see that? How it's considerably darker as it makes that hard cut. So rather than fixing, or changing rather the color, what we're going to do is we're just going to mask that effects. Okay, that's where we need to be. So before I got called the FA word, what I was saying is we are going to mask that with a transition. So what do we want to use? The options are kind of unlimited. Should we go for a cycle spin? Let's go for a cycle spin. And this is one of the bad things about doing it and doing it well, is well, first we're going to bring that out so we can actually see what we're doing a little bit better. But for pretty much any active tracks, we're going to have to throw this on. So we can't just throw it over one track. I mean, we could, but we want it to be uniform, you know, like a little schoolgirl outfit or something, uniform. So see how, now we, well, it's, kind of hard to see because it's a fusion effect. And it's kind of hard to judge because, that transition is very resource intensive. They use up a lot of resources, basically. Once again, I am completely forgetting we need to insert a marker here. So we're going to call this, you know what? Let's call this Dab-A-licious. Dab-A-licious. Kind of like your mama's booty. I also forgot to start the picture process. We'll go back. And get some others. But what we're going to do here, first, we're going to disable those parts of the timeline because as we go up here, I can do part of this with the micro color panel, but we're going to do it from here just so I can show you. So we basically save that frame, and then we're going to export it. This is from the last project, so we want to skip that and go to, where are we? We're going to create a new folder called TN for the thumbnail. Let's create the folder. And we only save the master thumbnail as a JPEG. The rest we save as pings. And I guess we need to name this one. So we're going to call this Clouds 1. That's how I do all the ones of me exhaling smoke or vapor, is Clouds 1, Clouds 2, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I fucking appreciate you.
Actually, I am going to get that right there. Like, I want to get it right with the Puffco leaving my mouth and that little bit of vapor coming out. Right there. Right there. Grab still. Export. Clouds 2. And save.
Yeah, I fucking appreciate you.
All right, so now we are up to our first item, or individual item, which is already unboxed. So I don't know if we're going to need a transition, but I will go ahead and enter the marker. And I don't remember the model name, and I am too lazy to look it up. So we are just going to call this quick release camera strap. And let's see, do we need a transition?
I kind of like to order a pizza. So as I be saying, this is the...
Yeah, I kind of think so. I mean, this time not to really mask anything, just to kind of, make it look a little more whatever. Make it look cool. And we are going to do another image here in a sec. But first we'll see how all of this.
What I'm saying is, I kind of like to order a pizza. So as I be saying...
well, no, I guess we did get it. It doesn't look like the keys cam was included in that, but it was.
I kind of like to order a pizza. So as I be saying, we're all little dudes.
Before I go on to switch right here, I just want to point this out, and this is more of a thing about filming, but I mean it for the editing, but just to show you like how well, I don't know if you can actually hear the sound coming out of the sound bar or not, but leaving myself little cues as I'm filming. So basically, in case you don't hear what I'm saying, I'm telling myself right here to switch to the GH5.
Um, Switch to the GH5 on the table. I'm gonna put these on the GH5.
So then I just out, and now I come up here and I enable the GH5, and bada bing, I need to click off of it. There we go. See how quick that, easy that does.
Plan to so far. I'm gonna put these on the GH. Plan to so far. I'm gonna put these on the GH5 in order to the GH5 to the GX85.
If I'm doing a vlog, I don't give a shit. But like when I'm filming these kind of videos, if I'm smoking a cigarette, I do try to keep it out of the shot. And okay, so now we're gonna disable that. And that is also another tip for masking cuts like that, where you got a stretch between your shots, and then it's going to look unnatural if you just switch back to the same camera, because you're going to have some type of jarring movement. Like, let's re-enable the GH5 here for a sec, just to show you what I'm talking about. Like, see how well, not jarring, because a lot of people use those hard cuts without trying to mask them all the time. But I'm a little autistic like that, so but see what I'm talking about? You see that movement just kind of whoop, 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 whoop. Where the fuck am I going? So to mask that, just switch to another camera so that it still looks natural, like it's all one continuous thing.
And so,
And here you can't tell. You'd never know that I've edited right there.
And so, I know I probably didn't explain that from the start. I am really, really bad at this, and I apologize. But it's taking it on and off is such a pain in the ass. Quick release.
Piece of breath.
That strap gets in the way, so I really, really need it.
And see, here's another thing too. I wanted to edit out some of this silence right here. So instead of, there's still part before I start. There's still more silence before I start talking again. However, my hand comes back into frame. So you see this like little bit of silence where nothing on the screen changes. That's where I in out marked. And now see my hand comes back into frame. So I don't want to, I want this to look natural. So I just edit out that little bit, and we'll have a little bit of just, my hand moving. And see how easy that is. Okay, so that's the end of the thing. So I got to go back in here and find a better spot to get a picture. And once again, the Ulanzi dial is good for this, because I could just kind of go through here frame by frame, because there's so many shots here where my hand is just like all blurry. And see that? Because we were able to go through and scrub frame by frame, we got one. Grab still. I'm just going to call this one strap, 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 strap. All right. Well, now I have shown you the basics of, how I get through here. So until I feel I'm to a point where there's more that I need to show you to describe my workflow, this is how we do it. And so I'll come back and show you some more here a little later. This edit is probably going to take us a couple days. So, we're coming back. So it is like actually the next day. So we actually did pretty much finish the edit last night. I didn't do anything further that like I think that I didn't already like describe or whatever. So, and I also did forget to do couple things, and I never added any keyframes, which is something I feel like I should have showed you. Um, but one of the big important things that we forgot to do when I was doing the photos, I got pretty much all the photos that I think I needed to make the thumbnail, but I didn't get any of keys. I didn't get any screenshots of keys to include in the thumbnail. And we can't leave my baby girl out like that. So let's see. I think this is around the uh, scene where, oh, she first appears. But we want to get her like head on. So I am going to use I forget what it's called. Let me look and see. So on the speed editor, the normal shuttle wheel setting is maybe that. I don't know. I think I got something better. But, anyway, the normal speed right here is called jog. But then there's another one called scroll, which is, as you can see, that's much faster. That is much faster. And that really comes in handy sometimes. But there is a point in this video somewhere where I like actually lured her up on. Well, I didn't lure her up onto the table; she's already up there. But um, I got her to like actually look at the overhead. So, oh, and I went right past it. I think. Oh no, maybe this is not it. Not it. Not it. See, I have this camera buddy thing that I still haven't like actually taken off of the packaging, and like actually tried to use it. The point of these things, just as a side quest or whatever, is when you're working with pets or small children, that to help them like look at the lens basically. Like, hey, little dude, I know there's a doggy off in the distance, but look at this little butterfly on the lens. Squeak, squeak, squeak. You know, it works. It works. All right, we're looking for a point where she, like, there she goes. Uh, Call that keys 1. Let's get to the color page over here. We're going to grab still, export, keys. I can't believe that I forgot to get some pictures of keys. What we'll probably do for the actual thumbnail is like flip the image over, so it's like she's looking down. Uh, but yeah, okay. Let's get back to the edit page, and we're gonna find another one. We might scroll back and actually get one of those ones of her like off in the distance, sort of. We are going to temporarily come up here to the keys cam and disable the transform so that she goes bigly. And let's use the dial. Oh, let's first turn on the dial. That might help. And are we on yet? Okay, there we go. We want to find a good in-focus shot of her looking at the camera. That's not super in focus, but we also don't want to wait until it chops off her ears. She's already chopped off in like the bottom one, or the other one that we just did, but that's also a good shot of her little yin-yang thing too. All right, let me just make sure there's not something better here at the end, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, but okay, now we're going to pick one from here. Okay, she's already too out of shot. Let's say right about there. Grab still. That's, not super in focus, but I think that'll work. It's just for literally just for the thumbnail. Full confession or whatever you want to call it, I put in, or at least for videos like this, I put entirely way too much work into the fucking thumbnails. Like nobody gives a shit. Well, nobody really gives a shit about my videos, period, but, less people even give a shit about the thumbnail. And some of my thumbnails are like, miss, whatever, but, some of my thumbnails, I'm going to tell you what, some of my thumbnails are just a thing of art. I could just include this picture of my mom instead. That is just a complete side note, side quest, whatever you want to call it. This was my mom right here in the middle. R.I.P. Mom. We miss you. And this was my Aunt Lynette. R.I.P. Lynette. And this is my Aunt JoJo. She's still kicking. She's still kicking it. Yes, she can. All right, so we're going to create a new bin, and we're just going to call this thumbnail. TN for thumbnail. And I did not need to do it this way. See, because I could have just dragged the thumbnail folder over here, but, I'm dumb. So, I do things the hard way more often than not. All right, there we got our pictures in. Now let's just, go through the pictures. This is, I think, we're going to use as the background, and there's that one. There's the flashlight. There's the fog machine. There's keys. There's keys. There's the overview or whatever you want to call it. There's the camera strap. And there's the teleprompter. All right. So I guess we will use that for the background. But foist. Let's go back to the master right here. And we're going to create a new timeline. And we're going to call this one TN for thumbnail. Big fucking surprise, right? Big fucking surprise, right? So we're going to, let's see, there we go. So if we're going to use that for our back, we'll just go ahead and load that in the back. And yeah. All right, let me pause for a sec while I get myself kind of situated here. And I have absolutely got to get a little bit more fap in me. If you're wondering, this is my mocha fap. I get a mocha fap about every morning. Well, not about, like literally every morning. All right. So let's see. I could just go down the list here and do it that way. It's like I don't really have any designed order or anything like that I really use for this. I kind of just get in and start fucking around and seeing what happens. And that's kind of why my thumbnails can be so hit or miss. But again, some of them just absolute pieces of art. But this feels like I should go in this doll's crotchety crotch up here, like I'm kind of, oh yeah, let's put me right up there, like I'm creeping out behind the couch. Like, oh, take a look at this guy. Hey, I see you there. Uh, get our next picture. And, oh, where are we going to put? I was thinking I'd put him in the other corner. But, well, I could, like, just flip him around. And we're going to soften him up. Soften that shit up. Soften it up, B. Soften it up. Bring me up here. Let's give me a little rotation because my whole couch is crooked here and I want to make me a little bit bigger. So there we go. All right. Now I think we're on to products. And another thing I could do here, if I just wasn't, when I do these things, I tend to just get comfortable. And so just like, leave my hand on the mouse. Because it's not like, the videos where I have to like constantly like cut in and out, and all of that crap. So, I tend to just pretty much do everything on the mouse for the most part when it comes to the thumbnail. So I just kind of like leave my hand on the on the mouse. You know what I'm saying? I think. I think you do. I could unlock those, and so now I'll just squeeze it over here. I'll just squeeze it over here. Squeeze it over here. And maybe a little bit more. Again, it's just a thumbnail, so. And I really need to cover up some of this area right here on the couch. I am sorry that I am such a slob, but we could at least cover that up for the thumbnail. I don't know why I was getting ready to put it over there, but do 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 do. Do 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 do. This one I'm going to go ahead and soften up from the get. And this looks like a perfect thing to use to try to cover up my little mess, my little slovenly, or whatever you want to calling me, or whatever you want to be calling me, something like that. And we can crop that side a little bit more. Look at that. Look at that. I might de-soften that slightly, just so that it's nice and in view. Let's bring that bottom up a little bit, though. And, because, like, I don't like having that white stick out right there. But I also don't want to chroma key it to get that out. So, the fog... Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you, you son of a bitch? We're going to get this Foggy Nelson machine in here, you goddamn it. It really fucking does. A pack of Marlboro Reds. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I think that I have done this once before. For the, I'm thinking, oh, wrong way. Wrong hole, asshole, game that we played. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because sometimes it makes this kind of hard. Okay. Now we get to put keys. I already know where I'm putting keys, I think. I actually saved a spot. The first thing we're going to do is that. And just to make everything like, oh no, I think we're going to keep it like that. And oh, that's the wrong way. Wrong hole. Wrong hole. I guess we do need to. All right. She does appear a lot in this video. She appears a lot in this fucking video. Just 100, 100. You know, she is here a lot. Again, wrong one. Crop top. Because we flipped the image, so crop top is actually the bottom now. So I think we're going to need to put something here, because it looks kind of weird as is. So what else do we got? We only got a few more things. Um, we got more keys. Here's another keys. Where should we put cheese? Cheese. Hi, keys. There we go. That should work. Still want to cover something like right here. So we got, oh, that might actually be perfect for that spot. I don't know. We'll see. Sort of cut off her body. I mean, not really cut off her body, but like put this over top up here. We do got two more pictures to add, and we're like kind of running out of places to put stuff because I want to save my body for the right person. Save my body like down here around where the Puffco is for the title, for the title text. And this is the last of the pictures to use. So let's crop off the sides as best as we can before we move it. I am out of breasts for some reason. I ran out of breasts. All right, I am going to still do something down here because I don't like having that open. What if I just... Uh, that's a little bit wonky, but you know, I think that works. All we need to do now here is find the title. Should we use the same kind of thing that we used for the keys cam, which was right here? We had two different ones. We used this one for the Ulanzi video. Let's use this one uh, for this one because this is the font we use for the keys cam in the 420 video, and then we used this one for the for the video that we're editing now, the Ulanzi video. So just mix it up or whatever. What do we want to put here? Ulanzi Holland keys. And we're gonna angle that up a little bit. Maybe a little side just to, whatever. Whatever, Steve. Let's widen it out. We're gonna narrow it down to because that works so much better for titles than it does. Oh, wrong thing, wrong thing. Than it does for pictures. Let's move this. We want to keep the dial uh, over here in focus, or in view, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. Ulanzi Hall and Keys. And she is down here right now watching herself on the TV. Let me pause and again, forgive my mess. Crop in future me, but forgive my mess. Hi, Keys. I love you. Love you. Let's go to the color page. We're going to grab still. And now we're going to come up with the video name for the name of this thumbnail. We're going to call this, instead of calling this an unboxing, why did it go to tags? That was fucking dumb. Instead of calling this an unboxing, we're going to call this a haul. Ulanzi says, we already put that in the title thing, so we're going to call this Ulanzi Haul Extra Keys Edition. Exclamation, 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 little dude. Little keys, she's my dude. Now, we're going to copy that so that I don't have to type it out all over again. After we export, we are going to come down here and make sure that it's saved. And it did. Not a bad looking thumbnail. Not our best, but not our worst either. It's good enough. It is good enough. Actually, you know what? We're going to save profile, or project rather. It does autosave, but just to be safe. But we're going to save before we go to our original timeline. Now we're back to our original timeline. All right, we are to the delivery point now. Oh, almost. This right here is very important because 3 of our cameras were filming in 4K, and the 4th camera was filming in 6K, open gate. So we did use a fair amount of crop ins and things like that. When filming open gate in 6K, you kind of have to because it's a, what is it? I think it's a 3:2 aspect ratio, and we're rendering in 16:9. But, so we want to not lose resolution as much as possible. So what we're doing is we edited in 1080p in order to keep things, with proxies even, to try to keep things as smooth as possible as we edit. So now that we're ready to render, we're going to change our project settings to 4K and save. And now when we go to render, we're going to still render at 1080p for YouTube. Basically, the whole point of that is so that the project settings will be at 4K, the footage is in 4K, 6K, whatever. Then we render in 1080p so that when we crop in on an image like that, we don't lose resolution, or we lose as little resolution as possible. It works that way. It does work that way. So, it works beautifully, as a matter of fact. So we're going to paste the title in right there. We do want chapters for markers. We do also have a thumbnail, and we are going to mark this as entertainment. And now we just need to pull the thumbnail out. That would be under, would it be this thumbnail? There's our thumbnail. Bada bing, bada boom. Just double checking our settings and everything. Add to render queue. Oh, we're going to have to, I forgot, for the file name, we're going to have to eliminate the exclamations. That's okay, because, it's just that, I forgot to change it to a JPEG. So I'm going to have to re-export that as a JPEG. That's all right. That only takes a sec, not a big deal. Choose the JPEG one. All right, make sure everything else saved, because sometimes when you click out from the render page, sometimes it can get a little wonky, I'm just saying. But I think we're all good on that front, so we just add to render list, and now we render. So I'm not going to show the rest because, but let's look. Our total duration, good Lord, our duration of this video is 1 hour and 7 minutes. This is a long one, but good thing I decided to make this tutorial overview, whatever you want to call this video that we're filming right now. It's a good thing I decided to do it separate instead of trying to add it on to this video. Whatever. So yeah. Anyway, the next things that I'm going to do, which I'm not going to bother including in this video, so goodbye, no, is basically I'm going to save everything to the SSD. I'm going to disconnect the SSD, take it all into the back, where I can transfer the thumbnails and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to proof watch all 19 years and 47 minutes of the video. Just proof watch, which I should probably do in here, but I'm going to do it back there. And then, then I will upload it to Facebook if I like it. I will upload the thumbnail to let people know there's a new video available on YouTube to Instagram, and I'll publish the video on YouTube. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, not really, but it's work. It's some work getting there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed learning about my processes, and thank you for sticking with me to the end here. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one, whatever it is, and bye. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to go get high again, or higher. La da 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 da, la dee da, la da dee dee, la dee dee doo da da do do do. Past me is a son of a bitch. Past me is a son of a bitch. Even more of a bigger son of a bitch than Randy Walters. I tell you what. Action, future me. Hey, future me. Fucking action, you son of a bitch. Let's hear what I got to say. Let's hear me out on this whole pickle juice thing.
Pickle juice. Pickle juice, I might.
Sammy so. Your mom. Dun da 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 da. Your mom. Ha ha ha. Is a very lovely lady, I assume. I love you all.